Hello, today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. Here is your daily signal. We begin tonight with rising geopolitical tensions and their impact on the oil markets. According to Business Insider, recent fears of oil shortages have subsided as global supply recovers, sending Brent crude prices lower, but underlying disruptions persist. Historically, global oil markets have reacted sharply to geopolitical conflicts, particularly in key producing regions like the Middle East, Russia, and the United States. These areas account for over half of world output, and OPEC+ countries are crucial in stabilizing supply. In the past 24 hours, oil prices surged 2.1% after Iran announced it would halt crude exports to Europe, a move that added to existing diplomatic tensions. On July 1, OPEC convened an emergency meeting as attacks struck two Saudi oil fields, reports Bloomberg, while the International Energy Agency issued a warning of reduced global supply and called for a coordinated response among consumer nations. These developments have immediate consequences. We may see renewed price volatility, with import-dependent economies stepping up hedging activity. In the medium term, disruptions could prompt Europe and Asia to rethink supply policies, raise manufacturing and consumer costs through energy inflation, and accelerate investment in renewables as governments seek resilience. Next, let's turn to the $1 trillion boom in artificial intelligence investment. Fortune reports that the Bank for International Settlements is warning of a $1 trillion AI investment surge, drawing explicit comparisons to the dot-com and railway bubbles, but noting that today's stakes are even greater. The current boom, starting in late 2023, rivals historic tech manias driven by breakthroughs in generative AI models, vast cloud infrastructure expansion, and headline-making investment from giants like NVIDIA and OpenAI. Companies are racing to scale up. Reuters highlights NVIDIA's new $50 billion chip expansion plan, and the Financial Times reveals that Microsoft will devote $100 billion to its cloud AI push in just one fiscal year. By Q4 2026, global AI investments are expected to reach the $1 trillion mark, according to Goldman Sachs. In the short term, commercial AI applications will accelerate and chip shortages could become more acute, fanning global competition for resources. However, risks loom. Stretched valuations and regulatory scrutiny bring the risk of a correction, as with past tech bubbles. Labor markets will experience rapid shifts, with automation displacing jobs but also creating entirely new AI roles. At the same time, debates over bias, accountability, and digital security are intensifying as these technologies reach every corner of society. Now, let's look at recent moves in quantum technology led by the United States government. New Scientist reports that the U.S. government is escalating efforts to build a useful quantum computer by 2028. The push is part of the Accelerated Quantum Computing Initiative, announced in March 2024, aimed at fortifying national security and maintaining technological leadership with $3 billion in funding over 5 years. Since the early 2000s, U.S. quantum research has focused on areas like cryptography, logistics, and materials, with policy discussions gaining urgency following an executive order on quantum issued by President Biden. Recent developments include the Department of Energy awarding $60 million to startup IonQ, IBM's announcement of a breakthrough in fault-tolerant quantum hardware, and a new partnership between Google and MIT for quantum cybersecurity pilot projects. Details reported by CNBC, The Financial Times, and TechCrunch respectively. Near-term, stepped-up federal support is expected to boost quantum workforce training and patent filings, while in the medium term, American advances could redefine global cryptographic standards as hardware improves. These moves are likely to encourage more strategic partnerships between tech giants and universities, accelerate commercialization, and heighten geopolitical competition, possibly even resulting in new global tech agreements if U.S. advances outpace those of allies or rivals. Now, onto the markets. International equities were broadly weaker, with Germany's EWG falling 0.39% and France's EWQ down 1.03%. The Netherlands' EWN notably dropped 2.9%, led lower by regional jitters. In the U.S. sectors, the S&P 500 edged lower by 0.13%, while financials stood out with XLF up 2.18%. Healthcare saw a mild increase of 0.55%. Semiconductors slumped sharply as stocks lost 6.4%, weighed by losses in AMD, Intel, and Marvell. Commodities were mixed. Gold GLD rose 0.60% but is down nearly 10% on the month, while oil USO slid 2.98% to continue its steep monthly decline. Agricultural commodities such as corn outperformed today, rallying 1.19%. Notable gainers included lime, up over 1,400%, and East jumping nearly 7,000%, while top decliners featured Nix slumping 46.7% and INLF down 46.2%. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.